'Tis the season to start planning. Now that the Halloween season is behind us, it is time to shift gears into the most wonderful time of the year, Christmas. Well, it's mostly the most wonderful time of the year, unless you're planning a Disney World vacation in the midst of everything that's going on right now, and maybe you forgot something crucial that could potentially derail your happy holiday, like, I don't know, Genie, the fact that a bunch of stuff is closed, the fact that everything's too expensive, ... Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog, and today I'm talking about what I wish I'd known before going to Disney World during the holidays. As exciting as it is to plan for a Disney vacation during the Christmas season, preparing for the trip takes just as much planning ahead, if not more so, than a regular Disney World vacation. Why? Because it's real busy there at this time of year. You got to make sure you know everything you want to see, have those reservations for the places you want to go, set expectations before you arrive. So let's talk about the things you need to prepare for to help guarantee a holly jolly time for everybody in your family. Let's get started. Okay, the first tip, and this goes for any busy time in Disney World, the parks actually can reach capacity. If you're still trying to decide if going to Disney World during the Christmas season is something you want to do, make sure you don't put off purchasing those tickets and making park pass reservations until the last minute. Christmas is a super popular time for guests to travel to Disney World. People want to see the parks decked out in their holiday best and experience all the exclusive offerings, which I'm going to cover in this video, don't you worry. During last year's Christmas season, the parks were still running at 35% capacity, so reservations to the parks filled up real quickly. This year, park capacity is pretty much returned to normal, but that doesn't mean you're guaranteed a park pass reservation no matter what time you book. Even before Disney World was doing their park pass reservation systems, the parks would still reach capacity around the holiday season. And this year, crowds might be more intense than ever. Since so many guests weren't able to travel last holiday season, I'm predicting we're going to see a surge of Christmas time guests, just like we saw a surge of summer vacationers in June, July, and August this year, sort of making up for all the trips they had to cancel. Plus, the 50th anniversary offerings are still going to be available during the Christmas festivities, so guests are going to be able to experience a whole bunch of exclusive offerings and new rides and new restaurants, and that's why they're going this year. In this case, park pass reservations will work more in your favor. Instead of arriving at Disney World for Christmas and having to be turned away at the park gate, which legit happened multiple times in the past years, making a park pass reservation will guarantee your entry ahead of time, or it'll warn you about the parks already being full before you arrive, so you can plan to visit on a different date instead. As soon as you and your travel group figure out a time you want to go to Disney World for the holidays, bite that bullet immediately. Get those park pass reservations locked in, buy those tickets, make sure you got your hotel, and start booking your reservations for restaurants. If you haven't been to Disney World since the parks instated the park pass reservation rule, don't sweat it. The DFB website has a walkthrough guide for how to make your park pass reservations. That's right, we're going to take care of you. You know we are. It should only take you a few minutes to learn, if even that, I promise. I'll add the link in the description below for you. And the same goes for those who are wanting to experience Magic Kingdom's newest Christmas nighttime extravaganza, Disney Very Merriest After Hours event. These tickets are already sold out for Tuesday, November 9th and Thursday, November 11th, but there are plenty of evenings for this event still available currently as I'm recording this, but that's not going to last forever. So if this is something you for sure want to experience with your travel group, then start cementing those plans ASAP. Okay, this next tip kind of goes hand in hand with the parks being at capacity. The parks can feel really crowded, maybe more crowded than you've ever experienced, in your life. So I've been talking a lot about the high demand for Disney World park tickets and reservations. I've mentioned peak capacity, sold out events, potential stir-crazy guests. Maybe I didn't talk about those yet. They'll be there. If these terms haven't triggered any red flags for you yet, just let me say it outright. Christmas time is packed in Disney World. Not just packed, it can get stifling, like shoulder to shoulder. Long attraction lines, packed out transportation, full restaurants. It can be intense, even for the people who don't mind a spike in crowd levels. So first and foremost, manage your expectations. You can still have a fantastic time in the parks during all the hustle and bustle, but be realistic about how much you want to accomplish during your trip. Decide ahead of time what your must-dos are going to be, and let the rest of the things you're able to accomplish be happy little additions to your holiday trip. Disney World's newest extension to the My Disney Experience app, Disney Genie, has a complimentary itinerary planning service that they say will help you maximize your time in the parks, even on the busiest days. So hopefully that'll actually help this year. And if you start using that early and enter in your likes and dislikes, then the service should incorporate your must-do activities into kind of a personalized itinerary. This can provide you with suggestions as to when you should hit up certain attractions to avoid peak wait times. Or you can purchase Disney Genie Plus. That's $15 per day per person. And that basically is Disney's FastPass Plus, except you have to pay for it. So it's going to give you Lightning Lane access. Lightning Lanes are the new Fast Passes, and those are going to allow you to skip over the standby queue and enter a shorter line that'll get you to the front of the attraction in a shorter amount of time. From what the DFB reporters have discovered, this is actually a nifty little park tool for those super crowded Magic Kingdom days, especially Magic Kingdom as well, because there are so many attractions in that park. Just keep in mind that you won't be able to use the Disney Genie Plus on rides like Space Mountain and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Those are premium rides. Those are part of what they call individual attraction selections, meaning you'll have to pay a separate price for their Lightning Lanes. You can learn more about Disney Genie and the DFB team's personal experience with it in our All Things Disney Genie YouTube video, which you can hit up after we're finished here. If you don't want to pay the extra price tag for Disney Genie Plus or individual attraction selection rides, try taking advantage of the theme park perks you'll receive from staying at a Disney World or Good Neighbor hotel. By staying directly on Disney World property in a Disney-owned hotel, you're going to get to do what's called early theme park entry, meaning you can go to any of the Disney World parks that you have a park pass for 30 minutes before the park's official opening time. This is a great way to hit up the more popular rides even before rope drop, and you get to save the money and not spend it on your individual attraction selection. You can just ride Flight of Passage before the park opens. Or if you're staying in a deluxe Disney resort, those are the more expensive Disney hotels, you'll have access to what's called extended evening hours, and that means you can continue going on select rides in Disney parks after those parks close for a couple of hours. Keep in mind that the extended evening hours are only available for the parks on certain days, so check that schedule ahead of time to make sure you plan your park days accordingly. Now, I want to be completely clear here. You don't have to pay extra to ride anything. You can ride all the Disney attractions, all the Disney rides by walking through the standby line anytime you want. So if you don't want to pay extra money for anything and you don't want to stay in a Disney hotel and you don't want to do early entry or extended evening hours, that's okay. You can still just go to the park and ride the rides you want to ride walking through the standby line. It may take a little bit longer. You may be waiting a little bit longer, but you can absolutely do that. Now, no matter how you decide to manage your time waiting in those ride lines, don't leave out the rides with the cute Christmas overhauls. Jungle Cruise turns into Jingle Cruise in Magic Kingdom and features funny, groan-worthy, of course, holiday puns and decor. Living with the Land gets an extra dose of Christmas cheer with its greenhouse holiday light display, super fun over there at Epcot. And Journey into Imagination with Figment is worth the ride through just to see Figment in his holiday sweater. He is super cute, and it is definitely worth seeing him. Okay, since the crowds are going to be hectic, you need to be aware of those transportation times too. Lines for buses, monorails, Skyliners, those are going to be rough, especially at the very beginning and very end of the day. A friend of ours waited 3 hours to ride the Skyliner back to their hotel after Epcot closed the other day, and that's just wild. So be prepared for that. If you plan on spending a lot of time in Magic Kingdom for all their exclusive Christmas offerings, like Disney Very Merry After Hours, then you may want to stay in one of the hotels that have direct walkways to the Magic Kingdom, like Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, Disney's Contemporary Resort, or Disney's Grand Floridian Resort. Now, yes, those are very expensive. I understand. This may also be a good time to consider driving to Disney instead of relying on Disney World transportation, if that's an option available for you. That way, you can be in control of your own arrival and departure times. Just remember that you still have to take a ferry or monorail from the Ticket and Transportation Center to get to the Magic Kingdom, and you'll have to do that same thing to get back to your car at the end of the night. But here's the real tip. If you're stuck in a 3-hour Skyliner line, definitely consider using a ride-share service like Uber or Lyft so you can bypass those long shuttle service lines, those Skyliner lines, the ferry lines. Now, this is going to cost you. It's usually, somewhere between $8 and $15 to get someplace on Disney World property using a rideshare service, but time is money, and 3 hours in a line to ride the Skyliner back to your hotel when you could just get a Lyft and be there in 15 minutes. Yeah, that seems like the right choice to me personally. And remember, if you are back there by the Skyliner, you can go to any one of the hotels back there and order a Lyft or an Uber or even a taxi. They can get get a taxi for you. Now, if you still want to take your chances with the complimentary transportation services Disney provides, make sure you plan ahead. If you have a dining reservation to get to, or you want to arrive right at the opening to get the most out of your Disney Genie Plus purchase, then try arriving at the transportation stations at least an hour or an hour and a half in advance to give yourself plenty of time to get to the parks. Last crowd managing tip for now, consider booking a dining reservation midday to break away from those intense park crowds and just take a breather. Bonus points if you can make a reservation for a restaurant in one of the Disney hotels, especially on your Magic Kingdom day. Disney restaurants in the parks can still feel a bit crowded, so stepping out of the parks for a bit, dining somewhere like the new Steakhouse 71 in Disney's Contemporary Resort, or Ohana in Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. One of my favorites is Grand Floridian Cafe at the Grand Floridian Resort. That's going to provide you with a tasty meal and some peace and quiet for at least a little bit. If you forget to book a dining reservation before your park visit and you start wishing you had one when the crowds start to become a little too much to handle, you can always check the My Disney Experience app for a last-minute table service reservation. Just tap on the plus sign at the bottom of your app, then tap on the Check Dining Availability. Enter your party size and select the day of your visit. Below the calendar, you're going to see different times pop up, and just grab one of those time frames. See if there are any last-minute dining options for you to choose from. I've found the most luck with last-minute dining reservations around the afternoon, like 3 to 4-ish. That way, you'll be dining after the lunch rush, but you'll beat the dinner crowd. If you're looking for a restaurant the day of your visit and you tap on the Now button under the Search by Time section, you can see what restaurants are available to dine at currently. Sometimes you'll also be able to see estimated wait times for table service restaurants. If available, you may be able to join a virtual walk-up wait list. Just remember that making a reservation for a restaurant 60 days out is still going to be your best bet when it comes to a guaranteed spot at a restaurant you really want to visit during your upcoming trip. Okay, next tip, you might want to splurge on a Disney hotel stay. Let's say you've taken all the advice from my last section and the parks still feel more stifling and less sort of merry and bright. Then what? Well, you may want to plan for a non-park day instead, meaning less time fighting the crowds and more time chilling in your hotel room or in and around your hotel. This is a great time to splurge a little for a larger hotel room if possible, maybe even at a deluxe resort. If you aren't a Disney Vacation Club member, you can still pay for a Disney Vacation Club villa by renting Disney Vacation Club points through a third-party service, which can make the room a lot cheaper than if you were to pay for it directly through the Disney website. I've got a video on how these point rental services work, so I'll link it right now. Wherever you decide to stay, make sure you book a hotel that has amenities you want to experience. Instead of stressing over the intense park crowds, consider this an opportunity to really explore a hotel you've wanted to check out for a while. For example, when you stay at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, but you're spending most of your time in the parks, it kind of feels like you're missing out on all the things the hotel has to offer, like the expensive savannah views with all the animals, the top-tier signature restaurants, the Samawati Springs pool, and the afternoon painting activities. But if you're hanging out at the hotel for a couple of days, you'll actually have time to experience those amenities that you're paying for anyway, and you might have missed out on. Research the hotels ahead of time, see which ones might have the most amenities you and your group are going to enjoy. Also, check and see which hotels might have exclusive Christmas shenanigans happening while you're there. That's right, the parks aren't the only places where Christmas magic takes over. Each of the resorts has its own gorgeous Christmas tree, though the tree that's been placed outside Disney's Contemporary Resort is always the biggest of the bunch, standing at 70 feet tall. The ginormous indoor trees over at Disney's Wilderness Lodge and Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge are some of my favorites to visit. The trees brighten the resort lobbies and stick with the overall themes of the hotel. Disney's Wilderness Lodge has a main tree adorned with rustic ornaments that encompass the overall great outdoors vibe, while the main tree at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge takes on masks and ornaments featuring animals you may find roaming around the resort's personal savanna. And a lot of the hotels also have specialty Christmas treats. In the past, a few of the holiday treats you could find at the hotels included the festive trio of holiday fudge at Disney's Yacht and Beach Club Hotel, the minty mistletoe cocktail at Disney's Boardwalk Inn, the Rum Rum Reindeer at Disney's Pop Century Resort, and the Build Your Own Gingerbread House kits at select hotels. Now, this section of fun Christmassy things you can do at the resorts deserves a separate section, so let's transition into the next video point now. There are several free Christmas activities. Yep, you heard me. Disney's got a ton of different free Christmas offerings you can experience around property. So let's start with the hotels, since I teased you with that cliffhanger just a second ago. If you make your way over to Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Disney's Contemporary Resort, you'll be able to tour the massive gingerbread houses. Some of them are more traditional, some of them take on the shape of familiar Disney World structures, like Cinderella Castle. Or you can head to Disney's Beach Club Resort and check out the giant functioning gingerbread carousel. This is a yearly tradition for the Beach Club hotel, and each year the carousel takes on a different theme. Because of last year's modified holiday celebrations, Beach Club had to settle for a smaller version of their traditional gingerbread creation. But in the past, the carousels have been themed around characters like Donald Duck and storylines like Peter Pan or even Lilo and Stitch. If you're staying at Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground, you may want to join in on the cabin and campsite decorating fun. For years, guests staying at the campsite or cabins in Disney's Fort Wilderness like to add a personal touch of Christmas cheer through the decorations they bring from home. They had lights on their roofs, reindeer inflatables outside their campers, and tinsel around their outdoor Christmas trees. Guests that are either visiting Fort Wilderness property or guests staying on the property have been known to rent golf carts and ride them around the site at night just to see all the different decor in the area. By the way, they also decorate those golf carts, and there is a golf cart parade that you can check out. So if you're planning on staying at Fort Wilderness around Christmas time, you might want to join in on the decorating fun. Definitely plan ahead. Just make sure to read Disney's decoration guidelines and property rules on their website before you decide to go all out. And though it's not as big of a production as Fort Wilderness, many guests staying at other hotels like to add a bit of festivity, I don't know, whatever that word is, to their rooms with a string of lights on their window here or a Christmas window cling there. Sometimes you'll even see some inflatables on some balconies. Now, consider packing something like that in your suitcase for a bit of added festive flair. Maybe not the inflatables, maybe just a string of lights, but you do you. If you want to branch outside the Disney hotels for a bit, you can always meander around Disney Springs, which has a free Christmas tree stroll. Each tree featured along the trail is inspired by a Disney character, story, or a popular attraction. The Haunted Mansion one is super cool. But you can also see trees themed to Mulan, Fantasia, Peter Pan, and tons of other classic stories that you'll definitely know. All right, next tip, what I wish I'd known before going to Disney World, you're going to want to buy a lot of stuff. Now that I've gotten the free stuff talk out of the way, let's talk about the things you're going to want to spend extra money on, like all that limited edition holiday merchandise. So why am I so determined you're going to want to spend your hard-earned cash on these new items? Well, 2 reasons. First off, the exclusive holiday stuff is usually real cute, real nice. So there are holiday spirit jerseys, popcorn buckets, Disney pins, you name the collectible, and Disney's probably already transformed it into a Christmas keepsake. Second off, you're probably going to be under the influence of holiday mentality, aka the urge to splurge on gifts and festive goodies. Don't worry, you're not alone. It happens to all of us. So try keeping yourself accountable by setting a spending limit. I know what you're thinking. I must be really fun at parties, right? But I'm serious. If you're not careful, you're liable to black out during a spending frenzy and wake up with hundreds of extra dollars spent on too many knickknacks with Mickey heads slapped across the front. Again, you're not alone. We've all talked about my porg puppet that I have. Why do I have a porg puppet? Because I lost my mind and decided to buy everything in Galaxy's Edge. Now, you can monitor your spending by preloading a Disney gift card before your trip, or you can just set aside a certain amount of cash to help you visualize what you're actually spending. It's much easier to lose track of how much you're spending when you're mindlessly swiping your debit or credit card. Also, keep in mind that Disney has Christmas merchandise all year long, and there are 2 prime locations for you to shop for it. Christmas store number 1 is the Ye Olde Christmas shop located in Liberty Square at Magic Kingdom, and Christmas store number 2 is Disney's Days of Christmas located in the Marketplace section of Disney Springs. Of course, these 2 really come alive here in the holiday season. But yeah, keep an eye on your spending, know how much you want to spend, and set yourself some limits. I know you can do it. Okay, number 6 tip. You're going to need to study up on a lot of stuff, but that includes mobile ordering. Back to dining talk. I've talked about mobile ordering in the past, and I'm here to remind you that mobile ordering ahead of time is going to be really important if you're in the parks during the holidays. Mobile ordering on the My Disney Experience app allows you to virtually pre-order and prepay for your quick service meals on property. But recently, mobile ordering is actually one of the only ways you can dine at certain quick service locations. It's a pretty painless procedure as long as at least one person in your travel party is tech savvy, so you should be able to easily order your meal on your My Disney Experience app and choose a return time. But it's not all perfect. During Disney's peak crowd days, sometimes your preferred return time is not going to be available. We've talked about this on the channel before. You got to plan ahead. Let's say it's getting to be around lunchtime, your travel group decides it's time to mobile order some grub from their favorite quick service location. If you're ordering around 11:30 and you want a return time of 12 or 12:30, there's a good chance those times will no longer be available during busier park days when everyone's thinking about lunch around that time. So the soonest return time could end up being hours later, like 3 p.m. or 4 p.m., and that's a best case scenario. In some cases, there might not be a return time available, period, if the restaurant has too many orders to fill. Another downside to this, most counter service restaurants as of late are mobile order only. So if you can't make a mobile order right then and there, you also won't be be able to wait in a physical line to order. You'll just be out of luck. Go ahead and plan for those crowds ahead of time by ordering earlier in the day. You should have a better chance of getting a return time that falls more around your eating schedule rather than having to wait for your food hours after and risking a hangry episode. Even when you order lunch earlier on, and by earlier on, I'm talking about park opening, bright and early in the morning, your food won't be prepared until you actually go there and say, I'm here, prepare my food during your designated return time. All you're doing is locking in a return time. So if I choose to pick up my meal around 11:30 a.m. and it's 7:30 a.m. currently, I don't have to worry about my food being prepared at 7:30 and sitting under a heat lamp or anything. Your food is going to start being prepared when you arrive at the restaurant during your time frame. You just have to press the I'm here, prepare my order button on the app to alert the kitchen and let them know they can start making your meal. All you're doing is locking in your actual dining time. Okay, top tip number 7 for what I wish I'd known before going to Disney World during the holiday season. The temperatures can drop. I know Florida's the sunshine state, but there are times that Florida can get a little chilly, if not downright cold. This can happen if you're visiting around the Christmas season or on into January through early March. Although checking the weather for Florida before your trip isn't going to help you much in terms of rain, since the rain's going to come and go as it pleases in Orlando, it may not be such a bad idea to check the weather the week before your trip and see what the predicted temperatures are going to look like. If it looks like your trip might be on the cooler side of things, plan to pack those layers like jackets, beanies, socks and tennis shoes, leggings, or any other warmer articles of clothing that it'll be easy to shed during the day if it happens to warm up, which it probably will. This is another time you'll also want to manage your expectations on your Disney Christmas vacation. Why? Because it may be too cold to ride water rides or swim in your hotel pool. Let kiddos know that this may be the case ahead of time so they don't get hyped for a Disney experience that could get foiled by a random Floridian cold wave. Next big tip, there are tons of exclusive food and drink. Now, I know I mentioned earlier that Disney hotels tend to have specialty Christmas treats featured in their restaurants, but that's not exclusive to the hotels. You'll be able to find holiday treats everywhere around Disney property. They know they're going to make a lot of money selling that stuff, so they definitely put it out there. Here are a handful of treats Disney recently announced will be coming to the parks this year for the 2021 holiday season. In Magic Kingdom, Golden Oak Outpost is going to have a gingerbread almond cake pop, which sounds delicious, dipped in melted white chocolate, which sounds even better. Disney's Hollywood Studios has a fun cocktail coming to Oasis Canteen, Animation Arch Bar, and Sunshine Day Bar. It's called Christmas on the Beach. It'll be made of coconut rum, blue curacao, because what's a holiday in Disney World without blue curacao, cranberry juice, and pineapple juice served with a souvenir glow cube. Satuli Canteen in Disney's Animal Kingdom is going to have a Thanksgiving bowl available on November 25th, which will be made with cornbread stuffing, sliced roasted turkey, cranberry boba pearls, gravy, and slaw. And that sounds amazing. Disney Springs will be getting in the holiday spirit as well, especially over at Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar after it transforms into Jock Lindsay's Holiday Bar and serves up specialty cocktails and lounge bites like the returning milk and cookies by the fireside and the brand new Yule Mule made of gin, ginger beer, cranberry juice, and rosemary simple syrup with a holly leaf sugar garnish. Don't forget to check out those seasonal petite cakes that Emirates Patisserie is so famous for. This year you'll be able to grab desserts like the Santa Mickey Dome Cake as well, the Holiday Mickey Mousse Mini Dome Cake, and the white chocolate peppermint eclair with white chocolate and peppermint mousse. Keep an eye on the DFB channel as more holiday treats are revealed and released. We tend to eat everything, and I mean everything, to determine which seasonal items are worth buying or traveling for. All right, number 9, the parks have unique ways of celebrating. I've been name dropping the Disney Very Merriest After Hours event and Epcot's Festival of the Holidays repeatedly now, so maybe it's actually time to talk about them. Disney Very Merriest After Hours is replacing Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party in the Magic Kingdom. So the event's going to take place from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. on select nights starting November 8th and going on until December 21st. At this event, you're going to be able to grab exclusive holiday treats that you won't be able to find during the park day, we think. Sometimes they've been changing that up. You're going to say hi to Disney characters dressed in their Christmas best, watch shows like Mickey and Minnie's Very Merry Memories stage show, and Minnie's wonderful Christmas time fireworks. You'll see Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas Time parade, yay, and dance in the snow falling on Main Street, USA. Yep, snow in Orlando, it's a Christmas miracle, but really it's just soap. Tickets for adults and children range from $169 to $249, with prices varying by event date, aka the earlier in the season you go, the cheaper the ticket price. And then there's Epcot's Festival of the Holidays, which will run from November 26th to December 30th, 2021. At this one, you're going to be able to taste your way around the World Showcase thanks to all the holiday kitchen kiosks, aka food booths, located in each pavilion. If you want a closer look at all the different festival booths and offerings that'll be available for you to nosh on this season, check out the DFB 2021 Epcot Festival of the Holidays booths, menus, and food photos page on the DFB website. I'll link the page in the description below. Want to put your sweet tooth to the test? Try out the holiday cookie stroll. In your festival passport, there's going to be 5 cookies you need to purchase to earn a stamp for your passport. If you earn all 5 stamps, you'll be able to redeem your passport at the Holiday Sweets and Treats kiosk, where you'll be rewarded with yet another cookie, the specialty completer cookie, but this one's complimentary. But the Festival of the Holidays isn't just about the food, right? Candlelight Processional is returning to the American Gardens Theater this year. This performance features a 50-person orchestra and a celebrity host who tells the Christmas story through narration and song. The celebrity lineup was recently announced on the Disney website. Tony Award winner Cheetah Rivera is kicking things off from November 29th through December 1st. Then Jodie Benson will take over from December 2nd to December 4th. Broadway actor Alton Fitzgerald White, best known for his role as Mufasa, is taking the stage December 5th to December 7th, and journalist Lisa Ling will narrate from December 11th to December 13th. Grammy winner Stephen Curtis Chapman is narrating on Christmas from December 23rd to December 25th. American actor Blair Underwood will take the stage after that from December 26th to the 28th. And Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak will finish things up by narrating from December 29th to December 30th. Now, we've got a few missing dates there, so we're going to have some more announcements coming soon, I think. These performances happen a few times in the evening each day, but they've been known to get really busy in the past, so it's not a bad idea to stake out your spot earlier rather than later if this is a must-do for you. There are also dining packages available for the Candlelight Processional, which include a prix-fixed meal at Rose and Crown Dining Room, Garden Grill, Coral Reef Restaurant, or Beer Garden. But these are extremely difficult reservations to secure. At this time, all tickets for the Candlelight Processional dining packages are sold out, but Disney recommends checking back on their website frequently in case openings become available later on. And we've got Olaf's Holiday Tradition Expedition also returning for the 2021 festival. This is a scavenger hunt that takes place around the World Showcase and has you searching for Olaf and the traditions he's gathered. Once you've found all the Olafs and have completed your game board, you can redeem it for a prize. Game boards can be purchased for around $9.99 at Disney Traders, Creation Shop, or World Traveler at International Gateway. While you're busy exploring each pavilion for Olaf, don't forget to stick around and listen to the festival storytellers. Now, these are back this year and it's so exciting. The storytellers share their holiday traditions and beliefs through performance, song, and audience interaction. Now, I know you're like, AJ, really? You think it's exciting? But I really do. I love these storytellers. I think they're fun. I think they're very educational, and they really do grab your interest. So they're not boring. Check them out. There are tons of musical acts, too, you can see throughout the day, like Voices of Liberty, Joyful, a celebration of the season, Coming to World Showplace, and the Jammers, of course, because what's a festival without the Jammers? And don't forget about Disney's Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. They may not have as many events as Magic Kingdom and Epcot, but they're keeping the days merry and bright for sure in some of the best ways. So Animal Kingdom's Merry Menagerie. This parades Christmas animal puppets around the park. It sounds weird, but it's super cute and definitely worth checking out. And the Discovery River will also parade its drummers' festive flotilla. See if you can spot them floating past during the day. You'll surely be able to hear them coming before you see them. And if you're still in the park around nightfall, you'll be able to see the Tree of Life Awakenings Holiday Edition, when the Tree of Life is going to stay true to its name and come to life with twinkling Christmas lights and a swelling musical score. It's going to alternate that with its beacon of magic for the 50th anniversary here. Do you need to go see the Tree of Life Awakenings? Not really. If you only have 2 nights in Disney World and you want to do other things those nights, that's fine, but it's kind of fun if you're already in Animal Kingdom. Hollywood Studios has something similar that happens at night on the Hollywood Tower Hotel called Sunset Seasoned Greetings. These are holiday projections that light up the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, making it a whole lot less spooky and really kind of cute and fun. Again, not something you absolutely have to do, not something you have to travel for, but definitely cool if you happen to be in the park. And Hollywood Studios has some of my favorite holiday decorations in all the parks. They are very mid-century modern, they are super kitschy and really, really, really fun. So if you're into that kind of vibe, you're going to love kind of exploring Hollywood Studios and looking at all of its decorations. The main takeaway here, if you're looking for an in-your-face Christmas cheer situation, then Magic Kingdom and Epcot are going to be coming in clutch. But if you'd prefer the holiday celebrations to be a little more understated, you may have a better time in Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. Whichever parks you choose, there's no escaping all the seasonal treats you'll be able to order at each place. There's something coming up every day, it feels like, when we're in the parks around this time of year. All right, number 10, tip. Santa might appear at several locations. AJ, Santa has not been mentioned once in this list. What is your deal? Chill, my friends. He gets his own section. If you're trying to scout out Santa in the parks during your visit, here are a few of the places he likes to show up from time to time. In Hollywood Studios, Santa likes to parade around in his slick red car during his merry motorcade. That's right, folks. Santa doesn't just drive a reindeer-powered sleigh all the time. Just like the drummers who perform down the Discovery River, Santa sometimes also likes to cruise around Animal Kingdom by boat in a festive flotilla. You can see Santa and Mrs. Claus hanging out and greeting guests outside the American Adventure in Epcot. And in Magic Kingdom, Santa will return to his traditional red sleigh as he soars down Main Street, USA for the Very Merriest After Hours event parade. Disney is also planning on inviting Santa to appear in designated spots around Magic Kingdom Park, Epcot, and Disney Springs, where guests might be able to have some individual time with the jolly old elf himself. Perhaps now is a good time to just mention what you've jotted down on your Christmas list, maybe. And I'll let you know when I hear more about where Mr. Claus will be showing up around the parks. But for what I'm gathering so far, it sounds like this guy's going to be real busy. Okay, next big tip for you. The crowd doesn't die away after Christmas. You thought you were safe from the Disney World crowds after Christmas Day? Think again. Actually, the most popular week in Disney World is the week between Christmas and New Year's. Now, although the post-Christmas season does tend to draw less of a crowd as Disney enters into January and February, the crowds don't truly die down until right after the New Year. The week between Christmas and New Year's is historically the busiest, like I said, and New Year's Eve is especially packed, so go ahead and plan for parks like Magic Kingdom and Epcot to reach capacity on New Year's Eve. Since many guests love to ring in the New Year in front of Cinderella Castle or drinking around the World Showcase, they all gonna be there. So once again, if this is a place you've just gotta hit up for the new year, make those plans and park pass reservations ASAP. And keep in mind that those post-Epcot crowds are going to be intense as everyone floods to the buses and the Skyliner at the end of the night. If you're not wanting to deal with the giant queues waiting on resort buses at Epcot, then you might want to consider going ahead and getting that Uber or that Lyft. But again, it's going to be New Year's Eve, so those are going to be hard to find. Maybe drive your own car to Epcot that night could be a good idea. All right, are you feeling festive yet? If not, don't worry, you've still got some time, but I've still got a whole lot more Christmas to cover. So stay in touch with this channel, the DFB website, and my weekly newsletter as the team and I continue to update you on all the latest Christmas news and seasonal announcements. We are in the parks right now, y'all. We are eating all the Christmas stuff because it's all coming out. So we are going to be posting those reviews on the blog. We're going to be getting all that information out to you, of course, on our social media channels. And that newsletter, I just can't talk about it enough. It's super helpful. We put everything that we write into that newsletter. So if you really want to keep up on what's going on in Disney World, check that out. We've got the link to join in the description below. It's totally free. And sometimes on Fridays, I even write weird, super touchy-feely emails that some people like. Maybe you will. So thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for watching. I can't believe we're back into the holiday season, but here we go. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Vlog, and we'll see you real soon.